Hello, welcome to Shinobi-Chronicles. This is a short tutorial video just to kind of give you guys an introduction to the game, how it works, what you want to do when you first start, and all that. I'll try to keep it brief, but I do want to get just about everything in the game that you'll need to know explained. If you're new and you're just looking for what to do to get started, you'll probably want to watch the first roughly 2 minutes of this video, and then after that you can skip the detailed explanations of things and just get going. So first off, after you've registered your account and activated it and logged in, you'll see this screen. This is the profile screen. You have all your character statistics here: health, chakra, stamina, regeneration rate. This is how much you regenerate of your health, chakra, and stamina per minute. So when you depleted your chakra and stamina by using them in combat, as well as your health from getting injured, it will automatically regenerate at whatever this number says. This number goes up when you rank up. So like when you rank up to Ganon, you get an additional 10 regen points. Also some bloodlines can give you extra regen and stuff like that. Okay, so the first thing you probably want to do, you can go check out the training page. You can start a training. Trainings are timed. There's no cost, as in no pool cost. They don't take chakra or stamina. It just takes a certain amount of time, and then you get your training gains. So the first one you'll probably want to pick, I recommend Ninjutsu Skill, Taijutsu Skill, or Genjutsu Skill. Any of these are fine, based on which type of offense you want to start with. I would train one type of offense at Academy Student because you don't get a Bloodline until you're gaining. So you might want to find out what your Bloodline is, and then you might want to train that offense. So until then, just pick one. Taijutsu is nice if you like spamming abilities, and there's a lot of them at Academy Student. So you might want to pick Taijutsu Skill and just click that and hit train. You'll see this timer. It says you have 4 minutes and 57 seconds remaining. And when that completes, you'll get the gains. Now, while it's happening, to pass the time, you could chat in the chat room, or you can go and spar other students from your village or other villages as well. Or you can go to the arena and fight one of multiple opponents. You probably are not going to be able to beat the two harder opponents. The opponents are listed in order of difficulty from easiest to hardest. So you probably want to start with the annoying crow. And when you get into battle, you'll see this all these hand seals. You'll see it says, please enter hand seals, click jutsu name for hint. This is the key to the battle system because different types of jutsu require different things. Ninjutsu and Genjutsu, in terms of using them, are very similar. You'll click the jutsu name, say basic replacement, and it'll pop up with numbers telling you which hand seals to click and in which order. In this case, you'll click 1, then 2, then click submit, and it will use the jutsu. Okay, if you wanted to use a Genjutsu, you click the Genjutsu, it would tell you there's one hand seal. You click that, and it will use it. Genjutsu, this is an interesting fact to note. I'll go ahead and explain this now. Genjutsu do not do upfront damage. Instead, what they do is they apply a lasting effect. The effect could be residual damage. That's what this jutsu does. You'll notice if I use a different jutsu, I'll just use this taijutsu. And the crow takes residual damage from the genjutsu that I used the previous turn. Other genjutsus might reduce the damage the opponent can do, stun them, reduce their stats like their intelligence or their taijutsu skill or things like that. Okay, taijutsu also, if you click the taijutsu, you'll notice this says please select a weapon to augment your taijutsu with. This option, none, is selected by default. Once you have purchased a weapon and equipped it, it will show up here. Otherwise, you can just click the submit button to use the taijutsu. You can also, if you want to use the same jutsu repeatedly, you can use the F5 and then enter to refresh and repeat the jutsu. Okay, and then after you beat this, you get some money. You can go to the shop and check it out. There's some jutsu, some gear, and some consumables. Consumables are not available at this time. They will be added in a future update. But you can look at jutsu scrolls and gear. So there's goggles, a kunai, and an incredibly long scarf. We don't have enough money to afford any of these yet, nor the jutsu scrolls. But these jutsu scrolls give you various jutsu with different types of effects. In order to get some, we'll go ahead and keep doing a few arena fights. lose this one? Yeah, I lost that one. Okay. If you run out of health, you can go to the ramen shop here. You can purchase various types of ramen. There's vegetable ramen, gives a little bit of health. Pork ramen gives more, and then deluxe ramen gives a lot. So since I have 100 health, I'm just going to purchase the pork ramen because it gives just as much health as 2 vegetable ramens, a little bit more actually. And go to the arena. Okay, to speed up the process, I'm going to go ahead and give this account some money, just so I can show you guys what it's like. Okay, so we'll go to the shop now. Let's buy, let's see, Spinning Stars looks fun. We'll purchase that. Perhaps Unexpected Sting. And Kitty Combo. And then in gear, we'll go ahead and purchase a kunai and maybe some goggles. Okay, and now you can go to the Jutsu or gear pages. We'll go ahead and go to the Jutsu page. Now you might notice that the Jutsu we just purchased are not here in the Ninjutsu, Taijutsu, and Genjutsu slots just yet. You have to learn them from the scrolls, and you can see here about the scrolls. So we'll go ahead and learn all of these, and then we'll go ahead and equip them as well. So these are apparently all Taijutsu. Okay, now let's go to the arena. Let's see. Oh, did our training finish? Our training did finish. We got 1 Taijutsu skill. Let's go ahead and start another training. We'll do Taijutsu skill again. And we'll fight the crow. We'll see what Spinning Stars does. So that does 12.58 damage. That's more damage than we were doing before. But I think it also takes more stamina. So we'll use some ninjutsu as well to use some of our chakra. So we can get that. Okay, and now let's also actually go ahead and try equipping the kunai and the goggles. Wait for this to regen a little bit. Go to the arena. So now that the kunai is equipped, you can click on it and you'll see the effect is it adds a residual damage effect of 15%. So that means that whatever taijutsu you use, when you use it with the kunai, it will do an extra 15% of the damage in residual damage. Let's try it out. Okay, we'll use it again. I'll actually use it with none just to show you. So now there's residual damage. Go ahead and keep using it with the kunai. And there's different weapons that you can buy at higher ranks that give different effects. Okay. For Genjutsu, just to explain quickly how the 3 offense types work. To increase your damage, you want to train the 3 skills. If you want to be a ninjutsu user, you will train ninjutsu skill to increase your damage. And then you'll see these other stats down here like cast speed, intelligence, endurance, and willpower. I'll try to explain what these do briefly. For cast speed, let's try using a ninjutsu against one of the AI and we'll see what it says. Hold on, let me buy some health real quick. Okay, so if you go against the AI and use a ninjutsu like basic replacement, you'll see this. Okay, Annoying Crow swiftly evaded 75% of your damage. Okay. The way this works, if you go to your profile, you'll see the cast speed and speed stats, okay? If you are a ninjutsu user and you use a ninjutsu against someone who's using a taijutsu, there's a clash between your cast speed and their speed. So basically what happens, if your cast speed is higher than their speed, then your ninjutsu fires at them before they're fully ready with their technique. And you can hit them before they manage to get their technique off, which reduces some of the damage they're able to do. On the other side, if their speed is higher than your cast speed, then their taijutsu will manage to actually dodge some of the damage of your ninjutsu, and they'll hit you with full strength. So basically, when you train cast speed as a ninjutsu user, it allows you to avoid some of the damage of taijutsu users who have a speed lower than yours. Conversely, if you're a taijutsu user, you want to train your speed so that you can avoid the damage of ninjutsu users and so that they can't avoid your damage. Intelligence, endurance, and willpower also. Intelligence is used purely for genjutsu. Basically what happens with genjutsu, because if you remember I mentioned genjutsu do not do upfront damage. Instead, they do damage over time or other effects over time. Well, genjutsu can be broken with a genjutsu release jutsu. However, when someone uses a jutsu to release a genjutsu, there's a comparison between the two people's intelligence. So the person who used the genjutsu and the person who's trying to break out. Whoever's intelligence and jutsu power is higher, right? If the person who is trying to break out of the genjutsu, if they have a higher intelligence and jutsu power than the genjutsu's strength, they'll be able to break out. That's controlled by intelligence. So if you're a genjutsu user, you want to train a lot of intelligence so that people cannot break out of your genjutsus. Endurance is a general stat that reduces damage from all sources. So ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu, it reduces damage from all of them. And then willpower works sort of like endurance, but rather than reducing damage, it actually reduces the effects of debuffs. So if someone uses a jutsu on you that like reduces your speed, for instance, if normally it would reduce your speed by 100 points, if you have a high willpower, it might be able to cut that down so they're only able to reduce your speed by, say, 50 points. So it can be a very strong stat to train against genjutsu users who primarily rely on lowering your stats in order to fight effectively. The other things you can see here are there's the ancient market. And then down here you have the travel page. You can't access the travel page while you're an academy student, and you can't access the missions page either. Actually, I'm still in a battle. Let me get out of that real quick. Okay. So you can't access these pages as academy student. Alright. Also, to explain a little bit more about the hand skills, if you go to your jutsu page, you can look at any jutsu. Oh, well, these are all taijutsus. But, see if there's any ninjutsus in here. I think this is a ninjutsu. Yeah, these are ninjutsus. Okay, and it'll tell you the hand skills. So 12, 8, and 1. If you were to go to the arena, and you were to use, these hand skills are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if you remember, it was 12, 8, and 1. We don't actually have it equipped, but we can use 12, 8, and 1, and we'll use the jutsu successfully. This only works for jutsu you've already learned, and when you use a jutsu this way, instead of if you don't have it equipped, the actual damage will be somewhat more random, so it's not as reliable as if you have the jutsu equipped, but you can use jutsus that way. Taijutsus have the trade-off of not having to use hand skills, but you also cannot use any taijutsus that you don't have equipped. Okay. Now let's see, our training is finished and we have another taijutsu skill point. I'm going to go ahead and skip this account to Genin so I can show you guys the Genin exam. And actually, I'll go past, yeah. I'll show you the Genin exam and then the other features like missions that are available at Genin, as well as Bloodlines. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, so this is a level up dialogue that you'll see when you have enough XP to level up. It'll tell you about your health, chakra, and stamina gains. And then when you reach level 10 and you get enough XP, you'll see this option to take the exam for the next rank. To do this exam, you have to know the hand seals for the jutsu involved, and you also have to have learned those jutsu. Let's see, Chakra Torrent was this, and Transformation Trickery was that. So if you see this, you attempted to perform this but failed. If you do the hand seals correctly, this probably means you have not actually purchased the jutsu. So we'll need to go ahead and learn that. And then we can do it. Okay? So, once you've passed the Ganon exam, you will roll for a bloodline. The elder will test you, and if you have one, they'll tell you your bloodline and your clan. Okay? Clans are actually linked to bloodlines, so if you get a bloodline, you'll be automatically placed in the clan of your bloodline. To use an example from the actual series, if let's say you rolled the Sharingan, you would be placed into the Uchiha clan. There aren't actually any Sharingan bloodlines in here or Uchiha clans because those are canon. They're from the original series, and we don't want to infringe on the author's work. So we've made up our own bloodlines and clans, but they're linked in here as well. So for instance, the bloodline that I got, which is Gravitational Law, this is actually a legendary, is that of the Hosoku clan in the Stone Village. Bloodlines are also linked to villages, so nobody could get this bloodline, say the Gravitational Law. They could not get that unless they're in the Stone Village. To explain a little bit about how bloodlines work, you'll see here there's passive boosts, combat boosts, and jutsu. The passive boost, this says regen. You'll see this says 100 times 0.003 is 0.3 per minute. Okay, so what this means is this number right here is your base bloodline skill plus 100. So the bloodline automatically starts you off with 100 bloodline skill for this effect, and then anything you gain on top of that is added to it. So I'll go ahead and train bloodline skill while I talk about it. And then your bloodline skill plus 100 gets multiplied by this multiplier. This multiplier varies by the bloodline and also by the effect, but what your bloodline skill times the multiplier ends up being the end effect. So this right here is the actual effect that you get. I get 0.3 regen per minute, 40 extra ninjutsu damage, and 3 extra cast speed. That's all applied in combat. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and raise my bloodline skill so I can show you what it's like. So now if I have 199 bloodline skill, I have a 0.897 regen per minute. That's almost 1. 119.6 extra ninjutsu damage and 8.97 extra cast speed. Go ahead and increase this even more, see if we can get it to show up. Okay, so now I have 1.797 regen per minute. And I have some extra stats here. Okay? And then at Ganon, you also have access to a couple extra pages. You can travel around between the villages. All the villages are on this map. You can also do missions. So there's a couple different missions here. There's special request, delivering food, and retrieving the pet llama. I'll go ahead and turn the special request. Okay, this says find a Jonin's hidden stash of questionable books within 2 squares of the village. So that's within 2 squares of your own village, which is marked in gold. That means it's got to be, this would be 1 square around this area right here. Right here, and then this would be 2 squares. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start, oh, it's right here. So when you found the mission area, you click go to mission location, and it'll tell you about the next stage. So now that we've found the books, we can report back to the village to complete the mission. Okay, you've completed your mission, you've been paid 40. Let's go ahead and try the same mission again, special request. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start here and search around. Found it pretty quickly this time as well. Once you've completed it, just go back to the village and claim your reward. And that's basically how missions work. There's also other types of missions like delivering food to a small village need at 1.4. So we're at 1.3 right now. And this is 1.4. It's right next to the village. Okay. Sometimes it might be farther away. me clear this. This is at 2.4. It's also pretty close. Yeah. Also for Bloodline in combat, let me go ahead and learn these Bloodline Jutsu. Bloodline Jutsu in combat are individual separate of the other ones. There's no hand seals for them. And here, let's do Crushing Vortex. So and there's no weapons either. So you just click on the Jutsu, and then you click it. Except I don't seem to have enough chakra for this. We'll try this one. There we go. So as you can see, that Jutsu is pretty strong. I instantly kill the Academy graduate. That's probably a little bit overpowered. We'll probably take a look at that Bloodline and balance it in the future. The other quick pages you can look at, there's members here. You can see the users with the highest XP, as well as what users are online. In settings, you can change your journal where you can tell other people about yourself. You can change your password, change your avatar, and select between the two different layouts, depending on which one you prefer. Additionally, once you're a Genin, you will have the Bloodline option here in the Ancient Market. If you didn't get a Bloodline, or you would like a different Bloodline, you can choose a new one here. This will show you all the weapons or the Bloodlines of your village, and you can buy them for the price of 20, 40, 60, or in the case of a Legendary, 80 Ancient Kunai. If you don't have Ancient Kunai, those are the premium credits of the game. They're 1 Ancient Kunai for $1 US. There are some little specials, like if you buy 30, you get an extra 5 free. If you buy more than 50, you get an extra 10 free. As a note, these don't stack, so if you buy 50, you don't get 10 plus 5 free. If you buy 50, you get 10 free. And then if you buy 100, you get 25 free. Okay? That's about everything I can think of at the time. The other things I should explain are some of the other interactions between the jutsus. So for ninjutsu, as an example, when ninjutsu go up against taijutsu, I already explained how that worked. Basically, with ninjutsu versus taijutsu, there's a separate comparison between the ninjutsu user's cast speed and the taijutsu user's speed. Whichever one is higher, that person gets to avoid some of the other person's damage. When you go with taijutsu against taijutsu, it also works like that. Whichever taijutsu user's speed is higher gets to avoid some of the other person's damage. When you clash with ninjutsu against ninjutsu, it's a little bit different. That's a straight damage comparison. Whichever ninjutsu is higher will reduce the damage of the other ninjutsu. However, unless the first ninjutsu is overwhelmingly stronger, the other ninjutsu will also weaken the first one. So let's say you had one ninjutsu that does 100,000 damage, and the other ninjutsu does 50,000 damage. They would both clash, and the first ninjutsu, since you have 100,000 and 50,000, the first ninjutsu would get reduced to 50,000 damage. However, that would leave the second ninjutsu doing no damage, which isn't very fun for that user. So all jutsus have a 25% minimum damage, and they will do that minimum damage plus the difference of the comparison. So in this case, the difference of the comparison was 50,000. So the first ninjutsu would do 25% plus 50,000. And the second ninjutsu would do 25% of its base damage. It sounds a little bit confusing, but basically all you need to know is that when two ninjutsus clash, they'll both weaken each other. Whichever one is stronger ends up winning by a lot. Elemental factors also come into account there. If you have a fire jutsu clashing versus, say, a water jutsu, then the water jutsu will weaken the fire jutsu, and it'll be additionally stronger than the fire jutsu in the comparison. Okay, if you have any more questions, I'm also going to post a text guide about this in the forum. I strongly recommend making an account there. It will go in this SC manual thread. And yeah, I hope you guys have fun.